Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to talk about stepping away from typical, or quote, normal, or what society sees as most common, or what society deems accessible and acceptable. Probably more along acceptable. And I will wrap it around back to accessible. Like, what is the most accessible to everyone? So more about that in a moment. What really prompted this was I see this in all the work that I do. I see this in my clients. I see this in so many talks that I hear about, is finding out what really works with your heart, your mind, and your body. I was reading a post today from Christy Forbes, and she was talking about how during her separation from her partner, that her kids were questioning, well, why can't we do this together still? And she had to take a moment and go, am I not doing these things because society tells me so? Like, what if we did do things our own way? And she is definitely sharing her experiences of separating from a partner, but not adhering to any rules, or like, you know, if my kids all need us together and I'm enjoying that time together too, that's okay. And I'll link that post below, because it's really talks about like her daughter saying like, well, why didn't you come and stay at Dad's? We're all going to Dad's. Why didn't you come and stay here too? And so she did. And she had a marvelous time, and then went back home, and her kids stayed with their dad. And why aren't we like looking at things this way of like, you know what? This is all aligning to what feels best for me. And any children that you have, like, how can we look at these things and say, we don't have to follow rules. We don't have to be like everyone else. We can do it our way. I think part of being neurodivergent many times can be that we want to be rule followers, or if we've had trauma of like being in strict households, and we knew that if we followed the rules, we would be the good ones, and that we would look the best to our parents. There can be a lot of that wrapped up together, and saying, well, if I didn't have needs, if I wasn't expressing needs, then I wouldn't be a burden on other people as well. So I would fit into the rules that were laid out for me. I would say no to things that I really wanted to, or if I didn't feel right, I still did it because of trauma of society. So looking at things differently and saying, well, what if I looked at the shoulds that I've been telling myself in life, and I backed away from those and look at them as coulds, which then provides an opportunity to make a decision of, well, I could do that, but I could also do this. Like, when we look at it as shoulds, we see it as just one thing, right? But when you look at it as coulds, you have choices. You can have agency in going, well, I could do, like, I could buy groceries once a week, or I could buy groceries once a month, or I could buy groceries every day. None of those are morally right or wrong. It's giving you a lot of opportunities to look at, maybe there's a different way of doing this. You can also look around and say, maybe the answers, maybe the things that we're following every day, the answers that people have of like, well, just follow this system that I created, or follow this, certain set of rules, and you'll be happy. Maybe they don't have the answers. Maybe those don't fit everybody. I sometimes just kind of laugh and say, like, I do think sometimes those systems can fit certain people. I think people can come across any kind of support system and try it out, and it can work better, right? You can be part of the group that says, this really works for me, and I will praise it and say, this is, what can be a game changer. But that doesn't mean it works for everyone. So thinking about that and thinking about, are you the one trying to put rules on other people, saying you should only do it this way or only do it this way? Or are you encouraging, whether it's with children or with teaching or with mentoring or with coaching or any of those situations, can you look at that and invite in multiple ways of getting things done? That there is no right way to do things, but when presented with ideas, people can take those ideas and even form new ways. So sometimes if you are looking for an answer for something, you can look at 5 different people doing it differently and say, well, that's not the one that fits me, and these other ones aren't fitting for me either. Maybe one of them fits, but looking at them and having this 5 ways that don't work, giving you an inspiration for a 6th way that it works for you, though. Sometimes when we observe all this and take in all this information, we start to form like, well, I know what I don't want. And that is really important. That is really, so hold that within yourself of like, I'm looking at these ways and that's precisely what I don't want. None of these feel right. I'm trying them on, just like clothes. Like, when you try on clothes and they don't fit, it's not your body's problem, it's the clothes problem. Those don't fit you. You're moving on. Those are not for you. But when you do find the ones that have an inspiration of like, I really wanted to like that one, but it was the fabric that I liked. Maybe I really liked this one and it was the fit, but it was too scratchy. Then like, I want this fit with this fabric, and that's what I'm searching for. And that had nothing to do with your body being wrong or the way of life that you're living. You're then seeking out that one thing that will fit you. If you're struggling with something of like, hey, I'm really trying to find a solution for this, it may be that you need to talk to someone and think creatively and think about how this could possibly work just for you, and not worry about what the rest of society is thinking about or doing. Like, how could this work for you as an individual? And try to let go of any expectations you have of yourself of being like everyone else, like of doing it like everyone else, because I think it's a beautiful thing when we see people living their lives exactly how it fits best for them. So thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast.